Oil prices jump 8% today. Well, dropped. I'm sorry. I wish it did go up 8%, depending if you're an investor. If you're an investor, you're like, oh man, oil prices went up. Great as an investor. But then when you go to fill up your gas tank, you're like, man, oil prices went up. But anyway, oil prices dropped 8% today. Let's take a look at to see why did that happen today? What's going on? And let's look at some history of this whole oil thing. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if y'all haven't done so already, please go ahead and make sure.
Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of our ladies, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we're going to jump straight into it. So right here today, right now we got a couple things going on with the Russia, Ukraine. The market does something every single day. I like to go back to the greatest investor of all time, one of my mentors that I look up to, Mr. Warren Buffett himself. He loves to talk about Mr. Market, that he can wake up. He's a person that can wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You just don't know what's going to happen to him. Mr. Market is undefeated. So we got a couple things going on right now, right? We're in the middle of heightened inflation. We got inflation at 7.9% according to the consumer price index that was released last week. Now we got the Federal Reserve coming up this Thursday, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday. They're going to come out. They're probably going to raise interest rates. So we got interest rates that's teetering along. We got inflation going along. We got oil prices going on, and we got the Russia, Ukraine going along too. So, and then also not to mention, we got COVID is rearing its head out in China again. So those are four big things that's going on. Then we had this thing in the middle called oil, which is going back and forth. Russia and Ukraine situation is becoming very intensified because, Russia is the number 3 world producer of oil, according to the Energy Information Association. So without further ado, let's take a look at what's going on. What are the number one, the couple of factors we got? Number one, we have out in China, they announced today 18 million people was placed on lockdown because of a scare of a new COVID thing, not COVID strand or whatever, right? So the reason why that's a big thing is because guess what? When people stay in the house, it shocked me so much when we went on, when we all got locked down, and I realized how much money that I put on gas. It was ridiculous. I was like, wow, I haven't filled up my gas tank in a while. My gas tank almost lasted a month. Something that I usually fill up about every 2 weeks, every week and a half, 2 weeks. I almost went a month on one gas tank because I didn't have to commute back and forth to do a lot of things that I was doing in my daily life. So it's a supply and demand thing. So if demand goes down and supply stays the same, what's going to happen to the prices? Prices are going to go down. So that was one thing that we saw. This new COVID shutdown that was happening out in China that was announced that they were doing, and that's taking 8 million people off of the demand list. Let me see what y'all say in the comments before we get up out of here. Al, what's going on, Al? Thank you for always tuning in. Larry out there in Hawaii. What's going on, Larry, man? Thanks for tuning in as well. So here we go. The next thing, ladies and gentlemen, is the possible ceasefire. Right now, I can tell you everybody's wondering what's going to happen with oil right now, with Russia and Ukraine going at it back and forth. We don't know if this is going to escalate. We don't know if this is going to slow down. We don't know if it's going to ramp up. We don't know. It could turn to World War III, right? Because this is the first time in a long time that we had a first world country get into it with somebody. A first world country being somebody like a Russia who has nuclear capability that's going at one of our allies. So if they turn around and do a ceasefire, I can see the price of everybody like, you know what, you're right. They ceasefire, they have a peace agreement. I can see the price of oil going down because of people. We don't have that scare anymore of one of our world's largest producer getting into it with somebody, the sanctions. So that's another thing, the ceasefire. Everybody's wondering, hey, is this ceasefire going to happen? As they move and progress and they started ceasefire talks on Monday, that takes down the price of oil. If that doesn't go so well, the price of oil can go up. So that's another thing. Number 3, you have an increase in output. So the Federal Reserve, I don't know the exact numbers. We're right here on the website. If you can see, We're on the Energy Information Association. I think it's Energy. Am I saying their name right? I don't think it's association, is it? Administration. I said association. Administration. So it's the U.S. Energy Information Association website. And, we have a reserve. We keep a bunch of oil on hand just for situations like this. So guess what? Oil companies, they see these high prices. Everybody's getting greedy. Everybody's digging their shovel in the ground to get more and more oil, to get more and more oil out because, the profit margin has definitely increased. Something that was once selling for, $50 a barrel, now it's selling for $100 a barrel. That incentivizes companies to start increasing oil. But when you start to increase oil output, that means that you are creating increasing the supply. And if you don't have the demand increase with it, that can drive down prices. So when supply increases and demand stays the same, it drives down prices. So that's another thing. We have increased our oil, and guess what? China may be decreasing their need of oil because of their shutdown. China goes on shutdown, supply is going up, demand is going down, supply is going up. That's going to drive prices down. The next thing that we have going on here is I like to look at the history of this, right? Let's take a little history lesson. Of course, I wasn't born. I wasn't around in 1973. This is when I have to call my old friends like Uncle James out there on Wall Street that I know that was out here doing it, that I got to talk to. How was it in 1973 when oil prices went crazy? From my understanding, looking at this oil embargo that happened, it happened out in the Middle East in the 70s, right? So you had the Arab-Israeli war in 1973 going on. So as you guys and girls know, Israelis is one of our allies. So that we were placing, of course, we were delivering oil to the Israelis or whatever. So they imposed an embargo on the U.S. in retaliation for the U.S. decision to resupply the Israeli military. Since we was helping out the Israeli military, they said, hey, we're not going to trade oil to the U.S. So right there, you seen supply go down and demand stay the same, prices goes up. As supply goes down because they have an embargo on us, and prices just started to stream up. So this was the OPEC. If you haven't heard of OPEC, this is an organization of petroleum export countries. They came out and said, hey, we are not going to trade with the U.S. The Middle East is saying they're not going to sell us oil. That hurt us. When that hurt us, that's in our prices going through the roof. And that was something to give them leverage in war agreement. It's all about leverage. The same thing we're doing to Russia right now. We're telling Russia, we're not going to trade with you. That's just a big word of sanctions. We're not going to play with you. We're not going to take your money. We're not going to buy your vodka. We're not going to buy your oil. It's called financial warfare, ladies and gentlemen. If this is financial warfare 101. So let me see what y'all say in the comments before I get up out of here. So Caesar said, have you heard of MMAT? I'm not familiar with that. Is that a stock symbol, Caesar? So have you heard of MMAT? I don't know if that's a symbol, but it doesn't ring a bell top of my head. But what do you guys and girls think of this whole oil price dropping down, the debacle that's going on right now? We got inflation that's high. We also, this is the thing about it. We're going into our spring break and our summertime. This is the time that people like to travel. This is the time that gas prices usually go up. So the demand for oil in the U.S. is about to go up because this is the time of the year it gets warm. People like to travel. People like to go on spring break. People like to take vacation. The kids get out of school. So the U.S. is about to go up on oil, but we're seeing a decrease down there in China with a possible new COVID thing that's going out. So anyway, that's why we're seeing oil go down today, drop that 8%. We're seeing that China had a shutdown for a new COVID strand that's coming out. We see the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine starting to rear their heads again on Monday morning. And the U.S. increased its output as well, increasing the supply, going into our reserves, and companies being incentivized to go digging, to get those shovels out and dig some more oil out of the ground because it's very profitable right now. So that's what we got right now. We're going to keep in tune with this. If you like the show, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And also hit that bell icon to make sure you get all the notifications when these videos drop. And to the next video podcast, cartoon, or whatever else crazy y'all see me doing around the globe, y'all know what my name is, Prince Dykes. I'm the Prince of Investing. Peace, be safe. I'm out, and thank you.